In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest way of breaking out of horizontal playing. There is no faster way than this, because you can do it today, and then 4 weeks from now, you won't ever look back. It will always be horizontal for you and vertical at the same time. And you don't have to learn a lot of scale shapes. You don't have to learn a ton of dots on the fretboard and struggle and sweat over all the scales you have to learn. It's instant, so stick with me. My name is Claus, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and go download our free course by clicking the link just below here. So what is it? Well, just think about it. Most people who are watching this video will have the first position minor pentatonic / blues scales shape down. Right? In this case, it's the 5th fret in the key of A minor. And so what do? To break out of that? Well, you do the same thing you did with this shape. You played it incessantly, right? It became so comfortable that it's almost hard to do anything else because your fingers want to go there all the time. And it's a cool shape where you have all the notes of the first finger in the same fret. So it's really great. But what I did that really totally changed things overnight was that I started designing a path out of this. So I, sat down with a piece of paper. Back then we didn't have iPads. And then I just designed a shape that was more horizontally. So I went up and said, okay, for each other string that I play, I must change positions. So I went, that's the first thing, well, and then I placed so I got the 5th and the 8th fret on the low E string, and I got the 5th and the 7th fret on the A string. So I played those first, blues scale, right? And then I would move my first finger to the last note, in this case the 7th fret on the A string, right? And you play anything. Right? So now I'm in the 7th fret. You can write this down if you want to, but you can do whatever you want with this. This is just a way of doing it. So 7th fret and 10th fret on the A string. I'm just following the A minor pentatonic. So I got the 7th and the 10th on both the A, D string. So now I got this 4-note shape. Moving up to the next position. Okay. So I got this position. Then again, I got these 4 notes in the 5th or 7th and the 10th, and then I go from the D string, from the last note there, I go up to the 10th fret on the D string, and I play the 4 notes that are up here. So I play the 10th and the 12th on the D string, and then the 9th and the 12th on the G string. I'm just going to repeat those slowly for you. Right? Got 4 notes again, so I move up. Every other string I move up 1 position. And here I got the 12th and the 14th fret on the G string. Then I got the 13th and the 15th fret on the B string. Right? Now I got these 4 notes again, so I move up to the last note of those 4 notes. So I'm in the 15th fret now on the B string with my first finger. And then I have the 17th fret, 15th and 17th on both the B and the high E. Right? So now I'm stretching from the 15th all the way down to the 5th fret here. So I came full circle and played all the way up to the same note. Right? Whatever octaves above that, but that's just a system. I could have used another system. I could go down 3 strings and then move up, right? Right. But then the key is, I'm just repeating this in the end so you got it down. Then the key is to not play in your first position minor pentatonic shape for an entire month, but only play in this shape, right? And I could do all kinds of little exercises. I could play 1 note after the other. So I'm just playing the scale up and down in this way, right? I could also improvise my way up. And I got my, I got my licks here. And if I look at the shapes I have all the way up, I can recognize the same notes, the same shapes from my first position. For instance, if I go, the first one is given, right? Then I come to this place. there I have two minor thirds on top of each other on the A and the D string. But that's the same thing as up here in my first position shape, right? So if I got stuff like, if I got licks up here in the first position, I can play the same licks. Right? So I would practice playing, you know, finding my way within these little 4-note shapes. And then this, what is that? That's the same as this place. Right? So I would phrase all the way up and really get to know this. So I became as good, and as you know, it felt like home suddenly. After 4 weeks of every time I sat down with my guitar, instead of going, right, I go. So this became as well known, as much home as my first position minor pentatonic shape. And that's the key. You refrain from playing in what you know so well already. Refrain. You don't do it. And if you do it anyway because your brain just goes there, you slap yourself over the fingers and then you start playing in your your horizontal shape instead. For 4 weeks, improvise in it, play over jam tracks, really get to know it. So you can play your licks in these little shapes here. And then voila, you're suddenly out of playing vertically. But that's not it, Claus. I want to learn all the scale shapes. I want to go across the neck. I don't want to be limited by one shape. Well, but then you just take another shape, right? You just create another path. You can create a path on only 2 strings. Right? You just create another path. And as you do this, then suddenly, if you're also learning the vertical shapes, which most people are, then suddenly everything becomes connected. And it's the most fun way, because instead of waiting 7 years until you learned all the shapes and you can go back and forth horizontally and vertically with all your sequences and exercises, you can show up playing with the guys and suddenly play very horizontal or on stage, right? And you didn't practice anything but... So you get the identity and the feeling inside that you have overcome this barrier to playing horizontally. I hope you'll do this. Let me just repeat the whole just shape here, and you can create any shape you like, but let's just repeat this so you can work on this for 4 weeks and refraining from playing what you know already. So low E string, 5 and 8, A string, 5 and 7. We know that already. Then move up on the A string to the 7th and the 10th. Then move up to the G string, 7 and 10. Then we go up to 10 and 12 on the D string. And 9 and 12 on the G string. Then we move up again to the 12th and 14th on the G string. And the 13th and the 15th on the B string. Then we move up again and play the 15th and the 17th on both the B and the high E string. And the last little tip here is, as you do this, if you got the cage shape down, the vertical minor pentatonic or major pentatonic cage shapes down, the 5 of them, then visualize where you are. So you know, okay, now I'm in that shape. Oh, I'm crossing through the shape number 3. Ah, interesting. So you connect things in your mind. That's a little extra learning when you practice these, right? So have fun with it, and I hope to see you in the next video.